You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Anger Management After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Anger Management After Show.
Well, hey everybody, thanks for doing, and we are here doing an AFTERBUZZ TV After Show for Anger Management. This is Season 2, Episode 3, Charlie and the ExPatient. I'm your host, Anna Koppel, and here with me.
Hi.
Hey, listen, just wait for your turn. Just wait.
I'm so anxious. I'm so anxious. I'm so excited to talk about the show. I'm Du'a Kaissi. Welcome.
Welcome, everybody. So, fun episode as usual. It's always fun. Kate, to me, is becoming...
I feel like you're about to say something really negative right now.
It's impossible to say something nice about her at this point, I feel. Am I wrong about this? She's becoming intolerable.
Well, tonight, I just want to point out the fact, tonight it's just you and me. And back in Season 1, we both equally hated Kate. Right. I'm starting to like her more a little bit in Season 2.
What?
I know. I knew that. I know. But I understand where you're coming from. I think I just understand her as a person now, and I'm just willing to accept it. I mean, she is who she is. But say what you were going to say.
Well, I just feel like this season she has become just... her energy is darker. I feel I'm so LA right now. Her energy is just, I'm just getting a very bad vibe from her. But no, but really, they have her, they're dressing her more harshly. Her makeup is more severe. And she just seems miserable.
Yeah, I think I like it. And I'm not sure if that's the reason that I like it, that I like her a little bit more, just because I feel like this is who she is. She is darker, so they portrayed that with her hair color and her eye, and so I feel like now she's like fitting the role. She's starting to look the way that she behaves, so it makes a little bit more sense to me. So I'm like, I can, you know.
Well, here's what's not matching up for me is that last season their relationship made sense. She was a little bit more lighthearted and joking, and they seemed to have fun together. This doesn't seem fun anymore. She just seems angry all the time, and she's really pushing him away, and she just wants nothing to do with him unless it's his penis. And
yeah, I do feel like the charisma, the banter between them needs to start having more layers, or this will start getting very boring. Him kind of like pursuing her, and her just like no. Like they need to add a few more layers. I do find it interesting that Season 1, they kind of made him out to be, you know, he cheated on his wife, a little bit of a womanizer, but he seems to me in the past few episodes that he's almost like actively pursuing Kate. And I'm not sure if it's because he's really a romantic, or if it's just the fact that she's making herself unattainable to him, that he's just going mad.
We always want what we can't have, kind of a thing.
Exactly. Like maybe she's doing this, and she's big with the manipulation. That is her character. I think it's one of the things that you don't like about her. But so I don't know if she's doing this just to push him away because she wants to be pursued. You know, it's very interesting because when she purposely at the show, and we'll talk a little bit more about Hope later, but I think that she purposely brought Tim, knowing that he was another psychiatrist of Hope's.
Of course.
Just, you know, I don't want you, but I don't want anybody else to have you. You know, major control freak, really manipulative, entirely narcissistic. Yeah, she does have some very unlikable qualities. I will give you that, Anna.
Well, she also, at the end of the episode, when they were in their therapy session, she said, oh, so this has to do with me.
Exactly.
So this is about me.
Narcissistic, yes.
No, it was about you, girl.
So this is entirely about me. I was hoping that she was joking.
I don't think she was.
Yeah. But I mean, she looks amazing though. When she walked into the group, she looked amazing. When she interrupted,
Do you mean skinny?
No, I think her legs look. She looks like she does a lot of Pilates.
So you mean in shape? Because I think as severe as they're doing her makeup, I think it's aging her. I think that
I will agree with you. Darker features that's why a lot of older women will dye their hair blonde, because it makes them look younger. It does age her a little bit, yes.
Right, and the dark eyes and the dark lipstick. I mean, it's making her look older than she is. Because Selma Blair in real life looks fabulous, but I think there's just like a dark cloud over her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. I don't care for it, and I don't think she looks good. I think it's definitely taking away from her natural beauty.
Mm-hmm.
She's just not looking so pretty.
I mean, I think that she has a very almost like a dancer body. There's this like long yoga dance. So I think that's good. I mean, you did last week. You showed us that picture of her. She was naked in that movie.
And like pregnant. Yeah.
While she was pregnant.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
Listen, her body's banging, but I just don't think that as angry as they're having her play and as severe as her look is, I just think she's not pretty in this role anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the writers need to be very aware of that. The creators, showrunners.
What do you think? What do you think it is about Selma Blair's character that Charlie is so either attracted to then?
Well, I think see, this is why I'm saying it doesn't make sense anymore. Last season, I got it. They were best friends and whatever. They had a banter. She understood him, knew his history. But now it just seems like she's always like shaming him or pushing him away. Angry girl.
So you're saying that you don't see why he's attracted to her?
Well, I'm saying at this point he might be holding on to what they used to have. We've all done that. We've all held on to what used to be, hoping that it may someday return.
That's some imagination you've got.
Yes. But it doesn't make sense right now. It's almost abusive.
Yeah. I mean, and then go from like from Selma Blair to like somebody like Hope that we saw today who played his ex-patient. And she was totally opposite. Blonde hair.
Bubbly personality.
God.
Yeah.
A stripper.
An ex-stripper.
Oh, I'm sorry, ex-stripper. Yes,
an ex-patient and ex-stripper.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he helped her with that.
Yeah. Well, either him or her like 5 other
therapists. Yeah.
One of them.
Well, before we dive into Hope, let us know what you think about Kate. Go on iTunes, rate and comment. 5 stars. It's 5 stars. Let us know how awesome we are.
Not quite 6, but more than 4. That would be 5.
It's good. It's good, Du'a. Thank you for that. Don't know what that means.
Was that a rooster?
That means it's time to wake up, get off your asses, and go to iTunes and rate and comment. The time has come.
The time has come.
The rooster is here to wake your ass up.
That is correct. So
I've never. I thought that was somebody screaming. I wasn't sure that it was a rooster.
It was a rooster screaming. But yeah, it takes 10 seconds maybe, and we buzz here for free. So come on, guys, show the love. Show the love.
Buzz like a bee. So I like, for those of you that are listening, we have new microphone covers and they look like bumblebees with the black and white, and I love them.
Black and yellow.
Did I say white?
You did.
I meant yellow. So can we talk more about Hope?
Let's talk all about Hope. What would you like to say about her?
I love the fact that she had 3 other, and yeah, 4 other. And she had the hypnotherapist.
That would be the
too.
4th other.
So that would be the 4th, but we never got their name. So Charlie is looking to kind of pursue a relationship with her. Is this correct?
Yes, because he feels that she understands him.
And I have no time in the show did I ever see anything that she might understand him. It just seems like he's kind of like jumping from woman to woman.
Well, I feel he really has this longing to be understood and to be in a relationship and I feel this is, a bigger picture. I think that we as people, that's really what we all long for, is to really just be understood. So that does translate for me. And so the fact that he's just longing for it so much, and you know, some people long more than others, and he seems to be one of them at the moment.
Well, I mean, I simply think that I just think that, I mean, after pursuing Kate, she's obviously not interested in him again and again. And he runs into Hope, and she just happens to be there, you know?
Right.
So he goes to pursue. I found it interesting that in the session that Charlie has with Kate, Kate mentions that according to the American Psychological Association, there is a guideline that states that you have to wait a minimum of 5 years before you can start dating an ex-patient. What I found ironic about this was that Kate mentioned it, and she is obviously throwing away these guidelines because she's having a relationship with Charlie.
Right. Well, because she also said you could lose your license. And I do also want to say that it's not just dating a patient, it's seeing a patient socially on any level. If you were to start seeing your psychologist just for coffee, whatever, there is a 5-year grace period.
What's 5 years? What happens in 5 years? I don't understand like what that length of time.
The assumption is that there is enough time has passed that that enough time has passed that
I just find that
it's just
so
that grace period. I don't know. It's just the number they came up with.
Yeah. Is it wrong for me? Pardon me. Is it wrong for me to say that it's inappropriate for you to date your patient? As long as they're not your patient anymore, it should be fine. Or it shouldn't be okay at all. But there shouldn't be like, 5 years. In 10 years.
Well, I understand the grace period because if we were to say, okay, our treatment is terminated now and let's start dating. I mean, the patient might still be in a really vulnerable place, and it would be easy for the therapist to take advantage of somebody, lots of buddies, and so I think there should be some sort of grace period in case that person is still just in a vulnerable place, because who knows what they're going to therapy for, you know.
All right, I can see that.
That's all I have. That's all I have for you.
Explain it to me, Anna.
Well, you know, all of my therapists that I've dated in the past, I haven't, but I wouldn't put it past me. So she had. I think it's funny that all these different therapists did keep showing up throughout the episode, and Charlie was clearly threatened, and
because they wanted exactly what he wanted was.
Well, I think I don't agree with that. I think that he really thought they had a connection, and she really understood him, and they were really going to have something, and he just saw that they were doing what Kate was accusing Charlie of doing, which was just like, you know, waiting out, counting the days until, you know,
you can just hop in the sack.
You can do it.
Yeah. Well, the first one was Tim, and that was
Tom.
Tom. And that was Hope's. Just kidding. And that was Hope's phobia therapist.
Right.
And then there was Dr. Leslie, but he wasn't a doctor. He was a psychiatrist.
He was a psychopharmacologist.
Ooh, say that 3 times fast. And so he was just her drug doctor, as Charlie so eloquently put it.
Yeah. And then there was Dr. Rita Freudenberger,
who actually played Marcy on
Married with Children.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Marcy was also quite a feminist, and then Dr. Rita is a feminist as well. So I feel like she picks these roles that are very feminist friendly.
By the way, what is a feminist therapist? Like, I know she kind of explained it, but
I don't know, but I think that they were just looking for a type of therapist that could be pigeonholed as lesbian.
I guess.
Because she as well was also in love with Hope.
Well, it's also news to me that somebody would have multiple therapists. I haven't really heard of that. I've heard, you know, therapists and psychiatrists, yes, because psychiatrists can write prescriptions and therapists is more sitting and talking, counseling.
Mm-hmm. Is that like a doctor versus not a doctor?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay.
A psychiatrist, really all they're supposed to do is write you a prescription, and then you're supposed to have the therapy to go along with it to make sure that it's working or not. But to have all of these therapists for different purposes. I've never heard of this, but I mean, I'm sure it happens.
Well, I mean, she was a stripper, so maybe there's a lot.
She had a lot of issues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot to get over there.
I wish she had talked about what her phobias were and which meds she was on. I think that would have made the story a little bit more interesting.
Yes, yeah. I think that would have as well. But I found it interesting that she was never alone with Charlie. Like, Charlie always wanted to be alone with her, and they were never really alone together. And then even at the dinner at the end, she had gotten upset because she had found out from a hypnotherapist that she had been groped
By another hypnotherapist.
while she was being hypnotized.
Right.
And so
It got complicated. It's
yeah,
a
and
complicated
so
episode.
that for Charlie is kind of what, and that kind of humanizes Charlie, because it lets you know after he'd already bought this, like this tickets and these flowers because he really wanted to be with her. He decided to go, put that aside, and it humanized him, and that's the part of me that thinks that he's just like a real romantic and that he really wants a relationship.
Absolutely. And that he cares. And this is something that I've talked about since last season. This is the primary difference between Charlie and Kate, is that Charlie is a therapist who cares about people and his patients, and Kate is not.
Yep. Yeah, but what do you think it would be like, though, if they were both, like, they have to be really, like, dissimilar. They can't be the same, so you need to kind of have them play off each other. So I feel like, and I'll say it the same way that I did, and I know that we're always getting back on the Kate thing, but I feel like as much as Kate's character can be annoying, she's very necessary for the show. Because you got to keep, you got to have your yin with your yang.
Who doesn't? I'm sorry, what is your question exactly?
My question was that what you couldn't, I don't even think it was a question, actually.
Yeah, I thought you did ask it. You were going somewhere.
Just around in a big circle.
Yeah.
It was just, they can't be too similar. What would that be like? If she was the perfect character, very, very nice, if she cared as well, wouldn't that kind of give them nothing to play off of each other?
I understand what you're saying. Here, the only thing that I can really liken this to is, I don't know if you watch Homeland, but I'm a big Homeland fan.
Love that show.
It's a great show.
Amazing.
There are so many characters on that show that are really like bad guys. Mm-hmm. But the characters are still relatable, engaging. I like them. Mm-hmm. There's something about Kate that is just so... I just can't stand her. I just don't like her. I just don't think she's a likable person. Mm-hmm. Whereas I do like people who are, terrorists and murderers, and there's still something that are likable about these other characters. So I don't know if it's the writing or how she's playing it or what it is, but I just don't think she's likable.
You just don't think she has one redeeming quality
I don't think she does.
Oh dear.
So that's the difference.
I have an odd question. Are swans monogamous?
According to Charlie, they are.
Yeah, swans, and what were the rats?
Yeah, some weird rats. Himalayan, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, that was just something that Kate had mentioned at the beginning when they were doing the group episode and she had interrupted that monogamy is not sustainable, is what she said. That was the point that she got across, and then Charlie was like, "But swans are."
Penguins, right? Aren't penguins?
I haven't talked to a penguin in a while.
Right, but
next time I do,
haven't you watched a documentary or anything?
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, not really my thing.
Oh dear.
I read literature. So we saw the prison group had a return. Stephen Monroe Taylor. He was on last season with us. He will be returning this season. We're very excited to have him back.
Mm-hmm. So. The old coyote hunter.
Coyotes.
Oh,
coyotes. He plays Wayne on the show. So for those of you who watch, I'm sure you know that already.
And that is the man with the southern drawl, which the whole time I was watching, I remember distinctly when we were doing our interview that he models that voice after his father.
Yes, and we're actually really hoping to get his father on the show as well.
We should actually talk. We'll do a phone interview with his dad when he's on.
I want to get Dad in the studio.
We'll
see what we can do. But yeah, so happy to see both groups back in the show. I think the prison group is so amusing to me. I always laugh during their scenes.
Do you think that it was you that mentioned that the walls were pink, which I happened to notice. You mentioned it, last season.
Oh.
The walls are pink in prison, which you found odd. I feel like you always notice those like nice like little nuances and stuff that they pluck in. I always feel like I miss it, and I feel like you get that.
Oh, thanks.
But
I don't know.
do you feel
Was that
like
a compliment?
no, it was. It was. Do you feel like every single time they have a prison scene, whatever they're talking about is something that directly relates to any any problem that he's going on at
Of course.
Like he gave them the bean plants this time, right? And you have to grow the bean plants to show patience.
And anything worth waiting for
is good.
Or
anything
that you have to be patient is worth waiting for. There was a message there.
You're like,
guys.
blah blah.
Yeah.
What is that saying?
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Like really, I've never had a bean plant, but I think I'm gonna get one now.
I had one in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I think that is true. I don't recall this from season 1, but Ed from the primary group is married.
Yeah, that was surprising to me too.
Yeah, because I kind of remember there was an episode where Patrick called Ed for help or something. I felt like Ed lived alone, but I guess he's married.
Well, I mean, as they did in last episode, they kind of just like threw in Charlie as a sister now, so now Ed has a wife. Which I don't think they ever said that he wasn't married. So kind of leaving all that stuff unsaid is really convenient for the writers, because then they can be like, you know what, let's give Ed a wife.
You know what?
A daughter last episode. And, you know, pretty soon we'll find out that he has a job and he's like actually a millionaire or something. Like
Right.
all the stuff you didn't know about Ed.
Hey.
Yeah. And apparently he can't shave, and he still has sex. Can you have sex at that age still?
There's a pill for that. But he got those from the rose bushes.
Oh, because it looked distinctly like shaving, and then when he said when my wife used my razor.
Yeah, I know, but
I have to.
If you listen to the rest of it. He got those from the romp in the rose bushes.
Old rosebush romp.
Anyway, shall we get into some news and gossip?
AfterBuzz TV News.
Well, first and foremost, some AfterBuzz TV news and gossip. There's now an AfterBuzz store. So you can go on AfterBuzzTV.com and click the little picture link. It's AfterBuzz store. We have all kinds of merch. We've got shirts and mugs and coasters and what am I missing here, Marissa?
And purses.
We have
Bags, you know,
purses?
I believe,
Totes?
tote bags.
You can get a onesie.
Yeah,
got
and onesies.
I got a onesie for my niece.
If you know anybody that is having a baby, an AfterBuzz onesie is the best gift
ever. Babies love onesies and podcasts. Anyway, yeah, we're really excited about it. So, go spend money. Keeps the lights on. Anyway, anger management news. So last week was the season premiere, and it premiered with lower ratings. The premiere itself drew 1.8 million total viewers, and then episode 2 brought in 1.6 million viewers. And if you recall from the last season, the series premiere had 5.5 million viewers. And then last season, the season finale last year had 2 million viewers, so it's down. What do you think that means?
I think it's going to be fine, because still it's for a cable network show. Those ratings are okay. I think there was so much hype last year, and I think season 2 everything is going to level off a little bit. But they signed on for 90 more episodes. They'll be just fine. They're not going anywhere. The show is funny.
Right.
So that's I think it's fine. I think that once talk to me in 5 weeks when we're talking about the ratings again. I think they'll be exactly the same. I don't think they're going anywhere. I think that they've just hit their stride. This is it.
Okay. I hope you're right. So Charlie Sheen had this interview with Piers Morgan, and on it he talked about, I'm sure everybody remembers his comedy tour, which is a little bit of a disaster.
With his strippers and
and his tiger blood, and he's a warlock. But anyway, he said he did it because he was broke, which I found a little bit surprising because, you know, he was making $2 million an episode on Two and a Half Men. Right. But one would assume that was a weekly show, that $2 million an episode, he might have a little money in the bank, but apparently not.
Yeah.
But those live shows brought him $7 million in 1 month. And he said he was using the money to pay for child support and mortgages and things like that.
Well, it's interesting. I don't know what the statistic is, but it's a staggering statistic of people that live paycheck to paycheck. And just because somebody makes a ridiculous amount of money doesn't mean that they're not still living paycheck to paycheck. And he just doesn't have like ridiculous overhead with, I mean, he's got what, 3 ex-wives?
Right.
That's, I mean, that's right there, yeah. So I believe it.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of his love life, he also, in the same interview, he told Morgan that he has found love again and that he confirmed he's been dating former porn star Georgia Jones. He said, I don't want to say a female version of me. We have very similar traits and qualities. She's a lot younger, and she's hotter than the word itself. And she's fun as hell. Fun as hell.
Well, good.
Very sweet.
Well, good. Yeah, that's good. I like ex-porn star. I'm wondering why Charlie Sheen, with all of the stuff that he has in the news and the media, everything that happened, I'm surprised that he hasn't come out with a sex tape.
Well, I'm sure several exist. They just haven't hit TMZ.com.
Yeah. When the time is right, and his publicist tells him there's a sex tape that's going to come out.
Well, Charlie Sheen is co-starring in a film, A Glimpse Inside the Man of Charles Swan III. He's playing a graphic designer who's quite good with the ladies, yet gets dumped by his girlfriend, who's being played by Catherine Winnick. They have a duet that they're performing in Portuguese.
Really?
Yes. So Sheen and Winnick...
A singing duet?
Yes.
Oh, dear.
They performed together for a Portuguese duet on Antonio Carlos's soundtrack... on Antonio Carlos Jobim's Aguas de Marco. Winnick seductively curls her syllables around the swooning strings and breezy percussion, and Sheen chimes in with unflappable confidence and surprising dexterity.
Interesting.
Yes.
I'd be excited to see that.
Yeah, A Glimpse Inside the Mind of Charles Swan III opens to a limited U.S. release February 8th, and the soundtrack is due February 15th.
Huh.
And you mentioned I'm sorry?
Oh, go ahead.
You mentioned last week that Charlie Sheen gave Lindsay Lohan $100,000 to help pay her taxes.
I sure did.
And he explains why. He said that originally when he was offered the role in Scary Movie 5, they offered him $500,000 to play himself for just a few hours. But then when they decided to hire Lohan, that his salary would be cut to $250,000 in order to also pay Lindsay.
So wait a minute. They were cutting his from $500,000 to $50,000 to pay, so the studio could pay Lindsay to have her on as well.
Correct.
Okay.
But then Sheen decided to ask Lohan what she was earning. She said that she was earning $100,000. So the numbers didn't add up. He said, so I just gave her $100,000 of their money, paying it forward.
Huh.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, that is interesting.
He talked more about the experience. He said, I felt bad for her. I was with some of the team the night before making sure she got on the plane. All I wanted to do was rehearse the scene with her one-on-one because I have a lot of experience in this genre. But I couldn't get her to rehearse it, so we only met in the makeup trailer for about 5 minutes before shooting. She was shy and vulnerable, but her instincts are dead on. Interestingly enough, it seems there was very little chit-chat between the takes, too. Although Sheen and Lohan certainly have lots in common, especially partying and getting second chances in Hollywood, he adds that she didn't ask for any pointers on repairing her image. I was hoping that she would pick my brain a little bit on set. It's the one thing that was missing from the experience. I do find that interesting. Yeah, he's definitely the guy to ask about.
Absolutely.
How do I fix my rep here?
Absolutely. Well, and if you're looking to fix it, but if she's still in the middle of it, like if she, like, I mean, I think that she's still at the point where she just doesn't care because
she's just in it.
Yeah,
she just doesn't get it.
And so when she, she'll give Charlie a call, which
should. She
absolutely
should.
Yeah. Charlie did say in an interview that Sean Penn and Johnny Depp are the best people to party with.
Oh.
Yeah, that's just a little random food for thought.
Last thing I have, Charlie Sheen was on David Letterman, and he said that he would like to have a part in the 2.5 Men finale whenever it happens. Letterman reminded him that his character's dead, and he said, well, I am dead, but so's the show.
Boom, boom.
Burn.
Ching.
Burn.
Hey, it's not a burn if it's the truth.
Amen. Amen.
What are the ratings of that show, just offhand? Do we know?
I don't know. My job is to find out ratings for Anger Management.
And is Ashton Kutcher still on it?
Yeah, he's playing the new
Oh, dear.
Charlie, right?
Oh, dear.
I don't know. Anyway, predictions?
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I don't really have any predictions. It's a little too soon to predict. The only thing I'm going to say is that I do predict that we are going to see a lot of new characters that we haven't seen before. The way that Charlie has a sister and Ed has a wife. I think that a whole bunch of like, you know, crazy people are going to show up with siblings, and they're going to be a lot of just craziness. And I still want to see Emilio Estevez. I'm going to say this every week until he's on.
Just willing it like the secret. I predict a boyfriend for Sam. I feel like that's coming up. So.
Oh, that's a great, and I will say accurate prediction.
All right, great. Why not?
Can I say it? Can I predict that your prediction will?
I love it. Where can we find you?
I am Du'a Kaissi. You can find me on Twitter at Du'a Kaissi. That's DUAKAISSI. Or you can find me here on Monday nights buzzing about Shaws of Sunset.
And I'm Anna Koppel. You can follow me at Koppel for Mayor, KOPPELFORMAYOR. And we will see you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.